Hey guys, we're doing a recording of a match that was on Hideout. We're playing against Waka. He was English. This will be an interesting match to watch. In part, just to see a bunch of airs. I mean, England is probably one of my hardest matchups as Mongols. It's probably the one I think I lose 75% of the time against England. Um, so in Hideout is kind of an interesting spawn. You know, we get this free deer patch. You get gold and stone right nearby, so we're gonna put our TC on here. Just really good spawn for us. And so it's England. I like to do my 2 TC type of boom. I'm gonna pick up this wood, drop it off, and start collecting there. And I move my girl over to start kind of chopping. As you can see with their base, their gold and their stone is really close. Let me change this real quick. I'm gonna change the vision to him. And then let's go to caster mode. Okay, so yeah, his stone and his gold are out of TC range. His wood line is also like right here. There's a couple trees that are in range, but it's his wood line is pretty much out of TC range. So these are little details that to know like off the starting map here that are really important. That you can kind of react to that. Um, hit a little bit of miss micro there. So we dropped off our wood. We're collecting gold now. We're going up with a wheelbarrow. Sorry about that. And yeah, we're looking to tech up. Or we're gonna look to tech up here shortly. And we're just picking up a bunch of sheep with our scout. And he does a pretty good job too, picking up a bunch of sheep as well. And he does a good job of noticing our TC and goes around it. Um, and we're just still scouting, finding a bunch of stuff over here. See, he's gonna go tight. So he's picking up his wood, and he does have one villager lead. Let's switch to there we go. He's 8 on food, 3 on wood, and 1 on gold. So this is a game that was. I feel like we were in a position to win this, and we just played it really bad a little bit later on. There's a couple key mistakes and some errors with our aggression. Idle military units are just a huge waste. So he's training his first men at arms, who's going to go kind of aggro on us. We've got enough villagers on our food now, so I wasn't worried about more villagers on food. I think I'm going to start rallying villagers onto wood. I do move my gird to this closer wood line. One, in part because this is a chop through to your opponent's base. I kind of want to avoid that as much as possible. And two, it's a little bit closer for the TC to rally here. So we're starting to rally villagers there, and we're looking to age up now. And there we go. We're starting to tap up, and we're gonna pull a bunch of these villagers off of food, and we're gonna send them on to wood. So now we're gonna have eight on wood. We keep 4 on food to make sure we keep constant villager production. We do have 3 villagers in queue, and we're tapping up with 3 villagers. So a little bit of a slow tap. Well, he's going up with council hall with 5 villagers. So he's committing to that a little bit more. And he's also sending his first men at arms to raid us. So with versus 1 man at arms, I do kind of mess up, but here basically all you want to do is just fight him. You don't have to really get scared about 1 man at arms. One thing where I kind of mess up is I don't get the full surround. So what you really should do is click past them. So I was grabbing and I was right clicking onto the man at arms. What you have to do is grab your units, click past him over here, fully surround, and then just kill him. So a little bit of a mistake on my part. My con gets back here. He has a great sheep haul. We got 12 sheep, so it's really big. That's a lot of food secured. Apart from the fact that we've got deer here as well. His second man-at-arm is on the way, and he's almost aged up. And we kind of start slow tapping up. Again, big mistake not getting the full surround. That could have been so much cleaner. And we do have some slightly hurt villagers here. And he's been messing up our wood income really bad. As you can tell, we're only at 80 wood. We have um, a ton of villagers here. A little bit of a miss micro here. I'm trying to click this villager, and I couldn't click. I was clicking the other villagers, so I was trying to get that click on him, and I couldn't do it. Sometimes it's pretty hard to actually click the one that you want to. Kind of one part where I wish this had the units selected show up somewhere, you know, that you could individually pick. Garrison some of them, and we clean up this rush, and we're gonna start collecting our wood now that we're way behind on. You know, we're H2, and we should be looking to drop our second TC basically now, around like the 6 minute mark, 6.5 minute mark. But we're way behind on our on our wood income, so that's really big, and we lost one villager, so that was definitely a big mistake on my part. And over here, his wood camp is out of TC. If I raided this, again, I'd be pretty safe. I'm safe to raid his gold as well. But both of the things are open for raiding. So again, little things where are big. You know, these little details definitely mess up with strat. So we're dropping an archery range. We're gonna start looking to harass. And the stable immediately after to start dealing with the longbow. They're gonna inevitably come out. And again, here you can see, you know, this wood count. He's super heavy on mining wood because his army requires a ton of wood. 50 for each archer. And same with spearmen. You know, if he starts going spearmen, it's not as wood heavy, but it's still pretty wood heavy. So you still got, you know, wood you got to use there. So dropping that, we're dropping our blacksmith. So we're getting all of our infrastructure up. And this is 450 wood, so we would be a lot closer to second TC if we hadn't done that. But we are getting our military to start playing aggressive. So that's not a bad move. It's just, again, we just, the idle time that we had with these villagers here is meaning, look at the time now for the second TC. It's super late, not very good. And, honestly, I wasn't expecting the man-at-arm rush, and that's, in part, not enough scouting. So our army is out, and thought maybe there was a little cut around here. There wasn't. And he starts building this tower, which is a really good move. But this army here loses to this army here, 100%. But we weren't committed. You know, we kind of saw it and we stayed out. So this was an opportunity for us to push, kind of take this, and then maybe wrap around into that wood line. Here comes the scout. So, and look, he's looking to castle already. So his build order has been a lot cleaner, and we're definitely behind, I would say. And the fact that, you know, now we have enough wood for our second TC. So definitely some big mistakes were made. And we haven't dropped our second TC yet. Okay, horsemen come in. Not having the con here kind of hurt our vision. But we cleaned up this army. He's got one unit, so it's one spearman. And we see these guys getting pulled here to build. So I thought he was going on gold or something. This is where I mess up. I send my con and one manga die. And I've got 2 horsemen and a scout. These guys come over here. This gets delayed. 100%. And these guys can fight these guys. These guys can fight here. You know, I've got 2 more manga die on the way. So this was a big mistake on my part. Mangadai's not shooting the villagers. Mangadai's shooting here. So a little bit of inattention. Really expensive, you know. Sending people onto this the second TC. So we have a military advantage that we could have pressed this advantage, and we totally screwed it up by not bringing these horsemen over earlier. Now the spearman is going to be able to clean up our these horsemen. Even if our horsemen win this fight against the longbow and these villagers, they're not going to win that fight against the spearmen. So we try to take out some villagers. Again, now this horseman's fighting one-on-one against the spearman. Another spearman is here. Another archer's here. So that was a really big actually turning point in this game where we had the potential to swing this back into our control here, and we totally messed up. And his 13 villagers only loses one, and yeah, this is gonna go up, and we're not gonna be able to do it. And this is at this point, it's just a waste of units. So horseman dies. We just pull back our Mangadai. No chance there. Again, if we had rotated even here, 2 of those Mangadai into here and shut down this wood, his army production would have halted. So there's just a lot of things that could have happened differently there that we messed up. A little unfortunate. And I felt like that was definitely a pivotal moment. Was that dropping? He's up in castle now. I'm behind. He's dropping a monastery, and he's going on to stone. So you can look to start stonewalling and stuff, or a keep, one or the other. Keeps are super strong too. So we're collecting these deer just for a little bit faster food income. You know, we have pretty much enough gold here, but we don't have enough food income. And he's a little bit ahead in villager count. And he's gonna be able to maintain that lead because he's got King's Palace up. So definitely, yeah, a bunch of little errors, you know, and they stack up. It becomes really important. So we separate our Mangadai to start defending some relics because we know he's gonna go for them. And we do a good job denying the relics from him, but we don't do enough to really come up with enough army to kind of to do anything. We're also an age behind, so we're trying to balance, you know, this. And I think we might be a little bit too heavy on wood here. We're worried about having enough infrastructure and stuff. Yeah, we need a lot more villagers on food at this. Yeah, our food is way behind. If we look per minute, I mean, we're ahead of him, but he just did a good job transitioning there. And you can see his army count isn't even that big. Again, like here, we could have raided this. We could have been raiding a lot of things here throughout this. We just played super passive after that that castle age up. I didn't want to fight, and we're just basically giving him free wood income here. We were giving free wood income here. There's a lot of raids that could have happened that would have changed this. So I think this is 500 food, so we made 900. This is another 400 food. It's another 300 food. So we're talking like 600 food. We're talking like, I don't know, like 1,300 food. So we should be up to castle already, but we made all this army and stuff, and we didn't. And you know, it's fine if we made this army. We kill this monk, and that's kind of the idea of why we made this army, is to deny these relics that he might go for, since he's up to castle. But the issue is now, you make this army, but you're not getting any value from it, none. And being worried about the relics, yeah, is understandable. But these guys raiding here, okay, he's able to drop a third TC because of this too. So now he's really gonna start pulling ahead in Michigan, and his army is just now starting to be equal to ours. So this was basically, I feel like this we let him pull ahead. We had a big army, we invested in army, and we never used it. And we're tapping up with our step readout now, but at this point we're starting to pull really far behind. You know, he's gonna get a bigger villager lead now. It's gonna be an increasing villager lead, and with that villager lead, he's gonna just have a better eco that we're not gonna be able to sustain with. Even if we get these relics, it's gonna help, but it's definitely not gonna be the end all be all. And we're gonna look at our comps here shortly too. He's getting siege workshop. He's got a stable. He's getting his blacksmith upgrades through as well. You know, upgrades wise, he's got definitely a few more eco upgrades. He's got a little bit more elite military upgrades. So overall, he's got better upgrades too. He does have castle age men at arms. Now we reach castle, and let's see. Yeah, we got a decent army here. And we're getting our horseman upgrade. This is, you know, we got a ton of Mangadai up here, and they're just taking care of this relic. At this point, we could have left like 2 of them here and pulled these other 4 to start checking out what we can do in terms of harassing. We know he's getting gold here. We didn't know about this. We knew where his woodline was kind of like. I was just worried that I was going to be under TC range, but as we see that, you know, it was an open woodline, so. We see this army coming up, and so we figured, you know, he's going to go for the relic pick, which he is. So, honestly, our villager comes in at a really bad time to start dropping this tower, and he gets noticed. And this fight here, I feel like was winnable, but what happened is we dive these longbows, and then we don't stick on the longbows. We start fighting spearmen. We start fighting men at arms. We needed to clean up these longbows 100%. Once we finish up the longbows, we would have been able to deal with all of this with just our Mangadai. So again, a really big mistake on our part, not microing properly and getting these longbowmen down. So a little bit of sloppiness too with the Mangadai here. So definitely a few errors there. And he takes a military lead now. You know, we got these Mangadai on the other side. We're rallying our troops there. Again, really wasn't necessary at this point. We could have moved half of these, if not more, and just left 2 of them. Our knight's doing, you know, he's trading decently. I mean, he's getting his value, but it's not ideal. If we had 8 more Mangadai over here, or even just 4 more Mangadai over here, we would have definitely held a lot better. With 8 Mangadai here, we definitely turned this fight. So another issue was we had, you know, decent military numbers, and we had enough to hold this. Like I felt like I had army, and I did, but the issue was the army was over here, and it's just starting to get mobilized. So a little bit of a mistake, not managing the army properly here. And now the villager lead is getting real big now too. Villager lead is getting pretty significant now. 18 ahead. We come through here. We're trying to find this wood line, trying to find some stuff to raid. I mean, we kill a villager, and we're gonna be able to hit this wood line. But you can tell he's already pulled a bunch of these villagers. These villagers are building towers. Villagers are on gold. Villagers are on food. Like he's rotated out of there. There was a death trap like 5 minutes ago, but it no longer is. And we're under the TC range, and we're getting picked up by longbow. So those eight Mangadai were just wasted basically on this other side. Didn't end up doing anything, and we're still rallying Mangadai over here. So that's definitely a big mistake. His army here is it's not out of the world crazy. You know, it's balanced. You know, 4 men at arms, 4 spearmen, 5 longbows, and the Mangadai and the springhole. So it's a good balanced army. We just, I mean, we could probably, you know, we could almost take this with this army right here. But we didn't want to fight it, and then once he starts dropping this, these knights too, he's going to start making stuff pretty tough for us too. It's just little errors, and now the big thing too now is he went to triple TC. He went to triple TC and he's pulling ahead. significantly in villager count. He's almost 30 villagers ahead. So, and you can see in the score differential too. Like that's where this is coming from. And he's dropping a forward keep on us, and we do see this getting dropped, and it's going to be a tough transition from here. I probably should have picked up this TC, pre-position back here, reposition some of these pastures back here, and move these villagers over here to start chopping this way. Probably would have been not a bad idea. We did pick this relic, which is good. I mean, we did a good job of securing all the relics. So here we've got two. We basically secured all 5 relics, even though he hit castle before us. That's one thing we do a good job in, but again, way too little, too late. Good dodge there on the mangonel shots, but we dive all of our cav into this mangonel, and then we see another mangonel, so we go dive onto this mangonel. And we see this springald, so we hit the springald. And then this army, we just let it trade out here. But we're getting shot by 10 longbows, so they absolutely shred. We do raid with some Mangadite here. We get a couple villager kills, nothing really significant. But yeah, those longbows were doing a lot of damage. We try to pull some villagers to burn down this ram. We're under the keep right now, so we're just getting like absolutely shredded. The villager lead is almost 40 villagers now. So, and it felt oppressive too. Like it felt like I was definitely way behind in villagers. I didn't realize he had a 30C, and it definitely makes sense why. It felt like I wasn't keeping up with him because I was way behind. So it went from a winnable kind of game with some situations where definitely we could have made it a little bit better. Like that man-at-arms rush we could have handled better. It really slowed down our production. Into something that's just it just turned into something that snowballed to completely out of our control that we couldn't handle anymore. We do drop a siege workshop, and we're trying to kind of stabilize here and hold here, but it's not going well. Man-at-arms are so tanky, it's crazy. Eight armor, so we just have to garrison all these vills, and it's kind of picking away at this this raiding force, but you can tell like doing a ton of damage here. Behind here, we try to raid with our Mangadai. We get a couple of villager kills. Yeah, he hasn't noticed yet, but again, it's not not a huge difference in it's not a huge difference what we're gonna be able to do in terms of villager stuff, and he eventually notices garrisons, and then those Mangadai get wiped quick. And he's dropping forward towers on us. He's gonna get that bonus. The Travis here, and now that the Travis here is kind of like pretty much impossible to reestablish control after this. Now we wanted to drop a springald to fight his siege. Yeah, we lose our second TC. He's up 50 vils. Not going well at all. The only positive is we have 5 relics. So a couple of really big key fights that we lost, and then this down here, this after keeping up that siege, that was good, and then we just need to back out, run around, and reset. Do that force, especially since there's a forward keep getting dropped on us. We're dropping towers, but these are basically in Treb range. We're now finally moving our villagers over after we've lost a ton. All of this infrastructure that we've invested in is gonna be wrecked. I mean, I literally could have picked this all up and moved it. I moved the one pasture. If I set these all up and moved them back, I probably could have held a little bit, but I guess the big thing I don't like doing is picking up pastures and moving them again. It's just so buggy sometimes, and I don't know, I just don't like doing it. I was also so far behind that even if I did it, I don't know. Like, he's got double my villagers at this point. 10 times the military. So it's 100% GG at this point. But he did a really good job of taking a couple of good fights. Using his English villager ability to use their arrows really good. And yeah, he put on a push, and he maintained that push, and he followed up with a keep drop. So it was a really clean play by him. And we're just trying to hold here. Again, not a good place to hold. Um, this is pretty close to unwinnable. We're trying to send in like a single knight to kill this Mangano, and he gets shot down before he even get any damage in. We have a Springald. Mangano fires. We tried to snipe the Mangano before, and we definitely couldn't. We're gonna lose one Veil from the Mangano, which is actually not halfway bad, but this mixed siege push is really strong. Always bringing a couple of Springalds to defend your siege units, and yeah, at this point it was just it's just over. There's no coming back from this. Though he does, I think, overproduce a little bit of villagers. He probably could have stopped at 120-ish. And he just slow pushing. Military production being rotated to the front. So that's a good, reduce the travel time on this on these units running across. It's never a bad idea. Get reinforcements here sooner, and yeah, we're just trying to get some siege snipes with these knights. Knights are expensive. Sending 2 units at a time is never a good thing, and yeah. We just get wrecked here, and we stick around and try to fight this to the end. So we'll speed this up. There isn't much more to say about this one. There isn't anything that's huge or decisive from here. We get the trap put under our TC, so that's some quality disrespect there. We have our gold production. We got plenty of gold. We got 5,000 gold. We didn't drop a market. We could have traded up. So just all sorts of really bad play. So yeah, just an overall really bad game on our part there. So and it happens sometimes. So I don't know why I have an issue against the English. So I got to work on that. This next game was also a ranked game. It's on Dry Arabia, and we're going against a Rus player, Sergeant LOL. And let's go into caster mode. So our spawn here, got a sheep nearby. We got gold right next to our wood, and a secondary wood line is super close, so we have a really good spawn here. Stone is a little bit back, but again, not a huge issue. Village is right onto here, and since we're going against Rus, I usually like to do kind of this horseman scout thing, but I've been deferring against it and just been going into fast H2 into Mangadive for denial of like a TC drop and in horseman production. So that's been kind of what I've been switching to. There's a lot of gold for him to pick up as the Rus, and the Khan is so weak in doing killing just deer compared to the Rus a scout. I don't find it worth it. So I just run around. I try to pick up sheep. If I picked up 3 sheep, that's enough for me to drop off and not have to worry about my aging up anymore. So I've scouted up. I'm gonna scout eventually about a quarter of the map here, this bottom quarter. This scout here we probably could have killed. A little bit of sloppiness on our part, not paying attention and killing them there. And we're just picking up these sheep, plenty of sheep. We're before the 2.5 minute mark when our sheep are going to run out. And he's actually behind us in villager count, which is really big. I think that's part of the reason too that I like going no scout even against Rus. Sure, he's going to get a lot of gold, and he's going to get that the hunt bonus, the food gathering rate bonus that the Rus get, and I'm kind of giving that up so I can deny boar and hunt. So send the sheep over. You can see our one villager's already started to get idle time, and we send our Khan over to start killing this one deer patch. Um, and I think this is an okay move, denying this one deer. Um, though in retrospect too, we do lose a little bit of scouting. You know, we only have this bottom corner scouted, so there's a little bit of information that was missing, and a little bit of bad position with a con too. We get some idle time there. That wasn't really necessary. Let's just look at the villager spreads here. We're aging up now too with deer stones, and he is getting wheelbarrow, which is pretty interesting, but not a bad move at all. Might as well too, since he's Roos. He's got hunting cabins up and out, and the big thing too is we're getting this age up timing before him, and he dedicates 6 villagers to the Golden Gate. So that's definitely a little bit, maybe too many, but this is what he likes. Um, Over here, we're rallying villagers onto wood. We've capped 4 onto food. Everyone else is going onto wood. We'll split these villagers that are building. We'll send 2 to the Uvu to build infrastructure, 1 to food, and 1 to gold. You can tell now he's picking off these wolves. That's giving him a lot of gold. And we're just scouting around trying to pick up more sheep. We've picked up 2 more, which is nice. But he's scouted out pretty much the rest of this map. And now we found this boar too. We're just running around and we're trying to find where the boar is, where the deer is, because those are the really big things. You know, we've given him the better food harvesting rate that the Roos gets, but we want to deny the food resources. So there's berries back here, there's deer back here, there's boar up here, and there's deer over here. And it's typical for the Roos to go for the boar or the deer. Our spread too, as you can see, 1 on gold, 1 on the food. And now that we've got 7 on wood, we rally everyone else onto here, and then 1 villager that was building over here gets pulled onto the wood line, and the second villager stays and keeps infrastructure. First mangadite are getting produced. We're pumping out our horsemen now. Over here, he's got 6 villagers, which is kind of a low amount. Usually they pull 8. And he's attacking this boar. So our Khan gets over here, and we start attacking this this scout. So we're gonna get the kill here, which is nice. And he starts tapping up with the wooden fortress. We're a little bit late with our manga die. You know, this is kind of one of the one downside of this is that your timing to deny stuff without those horsemen already out and about is really tough. Like if I already had 4 horsemen, this gets stopped 100%. I haven't tried, that new horse, or that, I guess, my old horseman strat against the new Roos, and this is kind of like the strat that I've been running against the Roos previously. So get over here, we get some raiding in with our Angadai. Unfortunately, we did split up the damage there. A little bit of bad micro. So what was possibly 1 villager ends up being no villagers. 2 very weak, 1 very weak villager. And we get our Mangadai here. So we know he's gone to the boar here. 2,000 food. Super fast food rate. Apart from his let's see here. Hunting bounty. Hunter's boon. It doesn't tell us what his bounty is though, what his boon is. Well, anyways, I know he's got a really good boon right now. It's not the full 500 he does. So, again, super strong. 15% food gather rate, and hunting cabins are producing more gold. But we've sniped one villain here, and we're just harassing. So he's not able to get true food production here because we're harassing. We're losing Mangadai, but we are maintaining harassment here, and we are starting to build up a cav force. So we're keeping him on his toes, keeping his APM kind of distracted. We're starting to scout out his wood line here too. So we kill a couple villagers. We bring the horsemen at a really good time. Basically, this wooden fortress starts attacking them. And this is a bunch of idle time. It's a whole bunch of idle time that he doesn't have food. And you can tell he's only got 4 villagers on food right now. And it's these 4. So he was really hoping on getting more villagers. Oh, he's got 4 here on sheep now, which is okay. So he's trying to stabilize that way too, which is good. But again, the big thing is if we can deny this. If we can deny this, it's the fastest reproduction or resource production that he can get in the game. We pull our Mangadai over. We want to start harassing this wood line. He does have a scout hidden up here. And we just raid with some horsemen. And we just deny with horsemen. They're going to be able to take that up pretty well. And we are pulling 8 of our villagers over to start doing the deer. A little bit of miss micro here. We're kind of running them off. Again, he idles here under the tower. No issue. Mangadai are rallying across. We realized he was running off, so we're going to drop this girl, drop a tower, start collecting deer. And over here in our base, we're still sending villagers onto food. We got 11 on food, so we got plenty there. Again, idle time here on this food. It's affecting. It does affect, and it builds up and it adds up. We have a decent force of Mangadai here. With 6 of them, so we're able to pick off almost a vill. But the big thing is we're going to be able to stop this knight. And over here, he's got a raiding force of a knight and 4 archers. So over here, we're continually harassing these boars, not letting him get that resource production. If he brought these guys over to that boar, that probably would be a really good move on his part. And he brings a couple of archers over. We're able to kind of win this fight without a problem. He kind of micros away from us, which is kind of a bad move against Mangadai. You just kind of get chewed up. We're running our Mangadai through this forest, and we keep getting picked off by these units. That's kind of annoying. And again, another little bit of idling here, so that's always helpful. This house is gonna go down, and we're gonna wrap around the north here, try to get more harassment in. We drop a second tower here because I knew he had a force over here, so I was worried he was going to come raid us over here since he knew about this. Again, we get him to idle in the tower, and we commit to sticking around and kind of burning this tower for a little bit. Back. These Mangadai should have been up and raided already, so now we are kind of pulling and rotating up there. It's a good idea. Snipe a couple kills, and we should back out of there fairly quickly. Infrastructure is just the base, buildings, one range, 1 stables. We raid his top here at the same time that we raid his villagers down on the boar. So we fall back there, we pull back, we kill 2 villagers, and you can see that the boar's got 1,500 food. So he's only gotten 500 food out of that this whole time, which is pretty good. That we've been able to deny that much. Push back these guys, and then he kind of chases with some archers, and we just fall back out of that. No need to fight it. And we're going to rally up our troops that we're getting and try to fight this here. We knew we had a knight and a scout and some archers, so we knew we could kind of fall back for that and survive. We almost get the kill on these guys, but now we got a nice mass. We got 10 horsemen, 2 scouts, 8 horsemen. That's enough to get this burn down, so I felt comfortable with committing that. And then we run into this army here, and we just get these knights to chase us. We got 4 Mangadai, so we're able to chew this up. And then we find these archers. These archers, even though they kill one like pretty early because he was weak, this is 100% a winnable fight for us. As you can see, they have 70, we have 85. But we have our military upgrades in here. A little bit of bad micro for sitting here fighting this knight, but you can see how handily we win this fight, even fighting that one guy. we burned down this fortress. He sent some archers after us. These archers aren't gonna be able to fight us, so we kind of got map control at this point. He's rotated up to deer here, so it would have been a matter of time for us just to finish this up, burn this, and then we could have rotated up to here. So we do a pretty decent job, even though we gave him that early gold. We gave that up to him. He was gonna have to farm transition soon and try to fight for this. While his forward army was lost as well. So um, pretty good matches and stuff. So um, there's another match I'll upload later today. And yeah, I got us up to Diamond 3. So yeah, I hope you guys like it. Just a couple shorter games, so that's why I did 2. And yeah, just some decent takeaways. I think the big thing is that against that English player, it really showed us how important it is to keep that constant harass going. In that second game against that Rus, even your horsemen are under tower getting shot at by that wooden fortress. Yeah, you're losing value. You're not doing anything besides soaking up arrow damage, but you're idling those villagers. So that's kind of the big thing. Just getting idle time as much as possible. So I hope you guys got a little bit of learned something or took something away. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.